Hey there, I'm Marna. Thank you for coming out to join me. If you had any doubt that I'm crazy, the fact that I'm sitting on the side of a mountain in December is probably a good clue. But you know, I'm going to be 50 soon, and sitting out here with the permanence of the rocks around me really helps me put that in perspective, that, you know, I'm not the oldest thing in the universe, even if it feels like it sometimes. So the real thing I wanted to talk about today was anxiety. And let me tell you, honey, I used to have the worst anxiety to the point where it left me suicidal more than once. The most recent bout of medication that I was on was a daily prescribed amount of Xanax, time release formula. And that made it possible for me to get through my day. And I really enjoyed being able to be productive and being able to set goals and being able to achieve them. What I didn't like was feeling like I was in a fog all the time, feeling like this was just, you know, a simulacrum of me going through the daily motions. I didn't like feeling that part of me was locked away. So I took advantage of the time that I was on the medication to learn coping strategies so that in the future I could live without it. And that has paid off. I haven't needed my Xanax in a couple years now, even though I've been through some really, really tough times, including being homeless. So I thought I'd share some of the things that I've learned that work with me, with you, because if you're watching this video, I have a feeling you probably have anxiety too. And it's probably something that at times controls your entire life and keeps you from being able to accomplish anything, really. Now, I know for me, these coping strategies work. That does not guarantee they're going to work for everyone, but hey, this is how we gain knowledge, right? We share it with other people. So the first thing that I do if I'm feeling an anxiety attack coming on is I watch how I'm breathing. And I know when you're in that circular thinking pattern and your thoughts are going crazy, you really, you start rapid breathing and it's hard for you to focus. And the last thing you want to do, at least what you're in the moment, is take a deep breath. Because if you take one deep breath, you might not get a chance to take another. But this deep breathing can help you gain control of what's going on physiologically in your body. Taking slow, deep breaths tells your body, hey, cool the adrenaline. We are not in a fight or flight response. We do not need to be pumping up on adrenaline right now. So, as soon as you feel it coming on, find some way to control your breathing. I like to do 5 counts. I'll breathe in for a 5 count, and then I'll breathe out for 2 5 counts. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold a second, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This gets the deep air. One of the things that has been recommended to me is what's called a double intake breath, where you breathe in, stop, breathe in again, and then exhale. What this does is it gets the fresh air further into your lungs. It pushes it down in, and that also has a calming effect on the adrenaline centers. So you breathe in, and again, and then exhale. It's a long breath, then a short breath, and then an exhale. And doing this forces your body to stop producing the cortisol and adrenaline that is provoking the anxiety attack. Because no matter what anyone tells you, it's not all in your head. It's really all in your endocrine system. It's your endocrine system having a fight or flight response. Trying to address it as anything other than that is just a recipe for frustration. So we're finding ways of breaking that autonomic response. So deep breathing is a good one. Once you have gotten out of the immediate situation that is triggering your anxiety attack. So if your problem is large crowds, that's one of my problems. That's why I haven't been to Dragon Con in a few years. If your problem is large crowds, then find a quiet place. And then call a safe person. I know, it sounds counterintuitive. The last thing you want to do is talk to anyone when you're in that state. And you certainly don't want any of your friends seeing you like this and thinking less of you. Doesn't matter. Set up beforehand safe people that you can call at any time that you are having an anxiety attack and have them talk you through it. Now, by talking through it, I'm not saying mouth platitudes like, oh, it's not that bad. Come on, get a hold of yourself. That doesn't help anyone. That just makes your anxiety worse. But someone who can sit there and say, all right, tell me what's going on. Where are you? How many people are around you? Describe the situation for me. And in that way, they are leading you to pay attention to the small details, which breaks that fight or flight response. Fight or flight forces you into looking at an overall by being encouraged to look at the tiny details, the small things. Then that will help break that response. So, have someone you can call up who will sit there and say, okay, I understand what you're going through. What color nail polish do you have on? What color's your underwear? Something that's going to make you stop thinking big and start thinking details. Yes, it really can be that simple for stopping an attack if it is someone that you already know you can trust. And if it's somebody that has already established code phrases with you for calming you down. I'm sure if you've seen the scene in a certain superhero movie that is incredibly popular, and therefore I'm not going to say because I don't want the lawyers to come after me for saying it, when the big green guy needs to calm down, the key phrase has already been implanted by the little redhead, saying the sun's getting low. That is putting him into a mental state where he recognizes that the moment for the fight or flight response has passed. Doing that helps him regain control. Now, another thing you can do, if you're in a space where you just cannot get away, you just cannot stop the thoughts from circling, try going to a safe area and going for a jog. Adrenaline pumps you up. Adrenaline heightens your body's responses. And sometimes the best way to deal with that is to do a physical activity to expend that energy. Get it out. As long as you have a safe place where you can go, then that is a healthy way of dealing with that level of adrenaline coursing through your body. My teeth fell, so I can't even do anything about my voice roughing up right now. Excuse me. Now, also, it helps to know what your triggers are when you're dealing with this. What sets you off? And if you know you're going to be in a situation that is likely to trigger you, what can you do ahead of time to mitigate that trigger? Personally, I like aromatherapy. I like using essential oils and scented candles. And, so there are some people who say it's pseudoscience, but the scientific research has shown that we do have an ingrained response to certain scents. So yes, lavender does calm you down. If wearing a lavender scented perfume helps you get through a tough board meeting, wear it. And no one will notice if you just do a quick smell when you're getting really tightened up. Again, that's recognizing what the trigger is going to be, mitigating it with an established practice. Because if you're used to sniffing lavender to calm down, then that scent memory will trigger you calming down whether you realize it or not. And then being prepared. For me at least, a lot of anxiety comes from feelings that I am not prepared, I'm not in control of the situation. It is all going outside of what I can handle. So planning ahead and having those small things in place help remind me that I know what this is, I am prepared for this, I am ready to deal with it. So that's my first 5 tips for dealing with anxiety in the moment. If you would like to see more tips, go on over to the next video. It should be popping up here in just a minute. Or look at the end screen and that will take you straight to it. So, I'm Marna. Thank you for joining me.